Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And y'all, being an Ohioan, I wanted to come in and talk about the whole thing with the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. Now, I know I haven't been around a lot, and some of you who have watched my video, you know that I told you years ago that I live in Ohio. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, but I moved to the state capital, which is Columbus, Ohio. So I don't live that far from Springfield, probably about 40, 45 minutes, if that long. So I was watching TV and I watched the debate like everybody else did. And I saw them talking, Trump talking about Springfield and the Haitians there. And he said that they were there eating cats and dogs and all of that. And I actually laughed, y'all. I actually laughed when I heard it. I thought he was a fool and I didn't know where he got the story. But quickly, after the debate was over and in the following days, I started seeing that J.D. Vance, who is a senator from Ohio, had picked this story up and ran with it. Well, I'm coming to tell you guys that it's not true. It's fabricated and it's not true. Now, let me explain why I know that as a fact as an Ohioan. So, a few years ago, the city of Springfield saw a population decline. Springfield is a small city anyway. They only had about 60,000 people in that entire city. What happened back then is that there were no jobs. The different employers in that area started to leave, and it left those people in that city jobless. They were having to leave their city to go to other cities to work. Okay? So what happened is when they saw that, grocery stores were closing because, people couldn't afford it, all of that, people started leaving the city in droves. They were leaving Springfield because what they realized is, hey, we are not making it here. There are no jobs. We're having to drive 30, 40 minutes to other cities to get work. Why not move closer to where we're finding work? So what happened is the population declined. When the population declined, it caused Springfield's economy to decline. So what happened a few years ago, 5, 6 years ago, is the city leaders of Springfield were trying to figure out how to bring the city back up. And they knew that, a way to do it is with these immigrants, the legal immigrants. Right around that time, a couple factories set up shop in that Springfield area. The problem was when the factories set up shop, there weren't enough people willing to work those factory jobs. A lot of the people had left the city and they couldn't attract people to come there to work those factory jobs. So the city said, hey, we don't want to lose these factories because if we can get people in here, to work those jobs and they're spending their money in the community, it will revitalize our community. So what they did is they literally put out like a bat call. Hey, immigrants, not just Haitian immigrants, immigrants, period. We are an area that is in need and we want to invite you to come to our city. We have jobs and we have affordable housing. So when they put out that call, the Haitians answered it and they went there. They got hired at those jobs because they are legal and they are documented. They were not just dropped in that city, they were invited to come. Like I said, they went there, they got those jobs, and then they started living in the community. Now, I mentioned that Trump and Vance said that they were dropped there, and because they were dropped, that it put a strain on the local economy and everything, schools, government programs, all of that. That is not quite true. I'm going to explain what did happen. So the Haitians don't speak English, you know. So when their children were going to school, they were quickly saying that they needed people to translate. They needed to add additional staff to cover that language barrier. Same thing in the government offices. They needed to hire people to cross that language barrier. And then other parts of their community. Now, keeping in mind, they invited them there, so they were doing it. They were saying, hey, we need these people, let us do whatever it is that we have to do to keep these people here. Because our economy was strained, it's going to be a little hard, but it's going to pay off in the end. We might take a hit in trying to develop all these programs, but it's going to pay off in the end because we have these 15 to 20,000 people coming in. Let's do everything that we can to accommodate them because in the end it will pay off for the city. As far as the housing is concerned, think about it. If the people were leaving that city in droves, what that means is there wasn't enough housing. It's not that the Haitians came in and pushed the people that were there away. The people had already left. So a lot of that housing was run down, derelict. They had to get it together, build more, whatever. But remember, they invited them to come. So what happened is the city leader said they need a place to stay. They need a place to live. They need a roof over their head. So we're going to have to come up with you know, ways to build housing to accommodate these people that we invited to come. They were not dropped there. Now, as I mentioned, I live in the state capital. In Columbus, Ohio, we have a lot of jobs, we have a lot of housing. So a lot of those people that were in Springfield, because Columbus has jobs, they came here. They probably went to Cincinnati, they went to Cleveland, they went to larger cities where there were more jobs. But what happened is when they left, they devastated that little town. Now, once the Haitians have come, the economy is revitalized because think about it. They came to work those jobs that no one else would take. The people that own the factory say they are good workers. They don't complain. They work hard and they wish they had more of them. But they took the money that they made from working at those factories. They rented houses. They started spending their money in the community, grocery stores, banks, putting money in the banks, all of that. So all that spending that the Haitians have been doing over these last few years has literally revitalized that city. Think about it. Like I said, I live down the road from them, not that far. If those Haitians were there eating cats and dogs, we would have heard about it in Columbus. Okay? We would have heard about it. Because just like you, we may not live in this city, but when you have a city that's that close and you have people coming from that city to your city to work and they tell you why they left that city, they'll say it's because there were no jobs. The reason why I'm in Columbus now is because, like I said, I'm originally from Cleveland. I left almost 23 years ago because there were no jobs. Not the type of jobs that I wanted, paying the salary that I wanted. So I went to where I knew that there were jobs, there was all kind of housing, and me and my children can have a better life. So I left my hometown and moved to Columbus, Ohio. That's what those people did. So when you watch TV and you see all of this stuff, that Trump and Vance are saying. I am an Ohioan, and I'm telling you that it's not true. The person who originally posted this story on Facebook was fourth removed, meaning she heard it from someone who heard it from someone who heard it from someone who heard it from someone. She didn't even have firsthand knowledge of it. She was basically repeating the story. When they followed up with her, tracked her down from her IP address, woo woo woo, she said, I am sorry that I even posted that. I did not have firsthand knowledge, and I did not realize that this story that I heard would blow up like that. Now, there is a woman who actually did report her cat missing, and she did report that she thought that her Haitian neighbors had taken her cat. The news people tracked her down and spoke to her. And she said, as soon as she realized, what they were there for, she was a Trump supporter, as a matter of fact. And she said, I am so sorry. I've since had to apologize to my Haitian neighbor because my cat actually was found a few weeks later. The cat had gone down the basement. I guess was coming in and out of her house through the basement, and she hadn't seen the cat. So she had to go over and apologize to the Haitian neighbor that she had accused. So when you hear this story, I was wondering, did you actually believe it? You know, I know that they said that there were videos, that people have seen videos. We Ohioans have been looking for them, and we can't find them. So I'm thinking that with all of this AI and all of that, whatever you saw was probably maneuvered with AI, because we live here and we have not seen them. You know, I think that what Trump and Vance did put, well, not think, I know that they put a bullseye on the Haitian community. Everything that you hear about schools having to close down, hospitals being on lockdown, government offices receiving bomb threats, all of that is true. I don't know if you guys realize that there are schools there in Springfield have to now have police officers and law enforcement stationed at each of their schools because of all the threats that they have coming in. Their government offices have received 33 bomb threats today. They were invited there, and they lived peacefully there with no complaints until J.D. Vance came up with this story. Think about it. If they were there and it was an epidemic of them eating cats and dogs, don't you think when the Trump campaign and the Vance campaign came to Springfield and said, is this happening? Why would they lie? The people, the city officials of Springfield told them that it was a made up story, but they didn't want to hear that. They ran with the story. I'm going to say that again. The city officials, when the Trump campaign came to them and say, hey, we heard these rumors, is this true? They were told that it was not. They were told that before the debate, before the debate, that it wasn't true, that they had already debunked it. They went through all the 911 calls for 9 months, I believe. There were no calls about, you know, cats and dogs missing all over the city. This is what the city officials told the Trump campaign. They backtracked and said, well, hold on, let us see. Let us go back to our 911 calls. Maybe it's something we're missing. They couldn't find any. Okay? They, I guess, spoke to the people in their community. Say, hey, is this something that's going on that we didn't know about? The people said no. Now think about it. If this was happening as bad as JD Vance says it would, don't you think those people in Springfield would have said yes, Fido, Miss Fifi, and Felix is missing, and we think them damn Haitians ate him? This never happened because when they are stopping everyday citizens in Springfield, these news reporters, they're saying, hey, this is not happening. This is a lie. But yet the story continues. So, as an Ohioan, I'm telling you, this story is false. Don't believe it. Don't believe that there are videos out there because, again, we have been looking for them. Like when they told me, well, Rachelle, they're saying that there's videos. I went out looking for them because I was like, wait a minute, let me see. And my family members, people I know, my friends, people I work with, we were all looking for them, but we couldn't find any. you know? And then we watch the news. We live here in Ohio. We know that the city told them, the Trump campaign, that this all was a fabricated story. We also know that the people, the residents of Springfield, who were there before the Haitians came, do you guys realize that they are wrapping their arms around the Haitian community and showing support because they don't want them to leave? They know what it was like before they came. They know what their economy was and how devastated the city was. They don't want those people to leave. Think about it. Why would they be supporting them if they thought that they were eating their pets? I mean, come on now. Y'all, I just came in to tell you the story and tell you don't believe it. Let me know down in the comments what you think. And as always, thanks for watching my video.